So, guys, we are ready. Yeah,
We are
Darshana,
ready.
all yours.
Yeah, we are live now. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Inspiring Indian Women. Another beautiful afternoon we have, and what a lovely sunshine we have, at least in London. I don't know about the other places in UK, but welcome to all of you who are joining us from wherever. As you know, I'm your host for today, and my name is Darshana Shah, and always love hosting. For IIW because very organization which is very close to my heart. So, what a pleasure to be with you all this afternoon. I would like to welcome our today's guest, and his name is Dinesh, and he's from Cook My Grub. And I'm as excited as you all to know what all this is about because, of course, from the name we can understand it's something to do with food. But please, guys, stay on, keep on sharing this video, and we're going to learn something very beautiful, something very new. The whole idea, the concept, what this is, we're going to come to know. It's very unique, I can promise you that. And this next few minutes are going to be very interesting. So, welcome, Dinesh. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you, and thanks for having me here. It's a great pleasure to be associated with something or coming on the platform, which has been followed by so many people. And thanks to Rashmi ji to put me in touch with you. I've had a quick interaction with Rashmi, I guess, long back when we launched the UK India Startup Corridor. I think I remember a couple of years back. So I still remember I was kind of following up all your activities, and here came the time. I was doing something which I needed your support and your appreciation to take my, I would say, my second baby to the market. And I'll tell you all about it. I'm really excited to tell you, and actually the expectations is to help us promote this brand to as many as people possible so that it actually reaches its vision or its purpose.
So you are in the right place. We will make sure that our videos are watched by many people, and even later on, if many people cannot join it now because it being a sunny day, people keep
Yes,
on watching, and you also can share it afterwards.
sure.
So my first question is, what is this concept, and how did this idea come up? Tell us a bit more.
Sure. I think before I dive into it, why don't I share a video with all of you, which will give you a little bit of an idea, and then we can talk about that. So just give me
That would be great. Yeah.
sound share. This here, make this here, and let me know if you can hear the video.
Yes.
Can you hear the audio? Perfect. Yeah.
Yes.
For those who are too tired to cook or don't have time to cook. For those who like to cook. For those who won't cook. For those who love to cook. For those who can't cook. For those who live to cook. Cook My Grub is an innovative digital platform which offers a refreshing new way to search and order fresh, authentic and healthy home-cooked food in your local area.
So I am all of that, yeah. I'm all of that. Sometimes I don't like to cook, but I'm a very good cook as well. So sometimes I love cooking, sometimes I'm very tired to cook, and sometimes I'm bored to cook. So whatever you said, I'm all of that. On different days, I'm all of that. So that's
Uh,
very exciting. So tell me, what was this concept? How did you get this idea? Was it your idea or your family's idea, or who is behind this idea? And a
yes,
little bit more.
definitely. So it's Cook My Grub is the online marketplace. You can call or compare ourselves like Just Eat or Deliveroo, but we are not for foods like from restaurants or takeaway. This is on our platform. There are amateur chefs, like anybody, but a housewife, house husband, professional who have free time on it to cook. So we gave them all the platform where they come and they market their dishes, and we kind of promote their dishes across the area and find the customer for them. So we are a marketplace like your Just Eat or Deliveroo, but purely for people who are cooking from home. So how did the idea came to me? Me and as most of us are both husband wife working, have kids. My business partner Shabir, similar scenario. We don't have time to cook, and most often what you do is then you go to company, either you order a takeaway. So let's order for Indian curry, and then that night when you sleep, you say, "Oh shit, I had a really bad food today," which is not good for my family. Or you'll spend a lot of money to order gustos and Hello Fresh, where you get all that kit. We still have to cook and prepare for your family. So this is where the idea came to us. And before COVID, I mean, the business was conceptualized in 2019. And Jan 2020, we formed the company and we hired the people to start developing it. COVID came along. I mean, I would say sometimes it's a blessing for some businesses and is one of us. A lot of home cooking businesses were emerging. But what happened, and even before COVID, a lot of these businesses are selling illegally. So they are not registering with the local council. There was a big BBC campaign around, how people are illegally selling the food. So I came to my head and I spoke to Shabir and said, why don't we create something which gives the home chefs the flexibility to manage their kitchen and also make some living out of it? Think about a housewife or house husband who are at home, but they're really passionate about food. They normally cook for their families or friend, and I can give them a platform which they can, from their home, without stepping out of the house, spend 4 5 hours a day, and they can cook multiple meals, and they can serve it to their neighborhood, people in the neighborhood, and make a good living out of it. And this is how it came. We started, it's developed. We launched in October last year in Maidenhead, Slough area. And I would say, with especially with the Indian community, the blessing we had, we just done like 6,000 orders so far, just in the last 6 months. We don't have to even wait for customers. And this is the scenario, especially in Maidenhead. There are very limited Indian restaurant in this area, and some of the other cuisine as well. Now is the case that people don't go anywhere else. They just come to our platform. They have, and the beauty of the platform is such a way that it's not like Indian, because if you go in an Indian restaurant, you're going to have most of the North Indian food or maybe South Indian food. What you have on our platform, there are food from every place. There's Rajasthani food, there Jain food, there Gujarati food, Punjabi food, Hyderabadi food, you just name it. And then people now all of a sudden have an access to that cuisine, which is home cooked, and it's just going all the places. So yeah, this is where the idea came to me. We started with two people. Now we are almost around 22 people's organization. Some of them in UK, in Maidenhead, some of them in India.
Okay, so
Yeah.
my question to you is, it's like the idea was conceptualized in 2019, and now
Yes.
this is 21. So
Yes.
you already shared with us how it has progressed. But
Yeah.
other than that, what challenges did you face?
Yeah, I mean, it's too early to face the challenges, to be honest, because it's just 6 months. The market, the product is in the market. Uh, I would say, for any startup businesses, the biggest challenge is the amount of capital you have in hand, and how to leverage that capital to go, like do a viral marketing. Because these days, even if you post something on the Facebook, it costs money. So the challenge we have is to reach to as many as people possible, so they have an access to this fantastic food which our home chefs are cooking. I mean, on that note, I mean, we've been lucky again. We finished our crowdfunding campaign just in March, and we raised around $1 million through that, which is good, which is fantastic. People are really appreciating what we're doing. But as a B2C business, is always a challenge to reach to people, and that's one thing. And second thing is, it's very easy to find the Indian cuisine, people cooking, because that kind of a food what we make is very easy to transport. But there are certain cuisines like pizzas, pastas, burger is very different. It is very hard. So the other challenge we're finding is I have a lot of South Asian chefs, a lot of South African, or I would say Portuguese, that build chef, but don't have a mainstream European chef yet, which is what we're trying to attract in coming months.
Right. So would you say this is the way you have developed since September 2020, or
Yeah, I
this
can
is the
explain
way
you
you
the
have
journey
developed,
how.
adding in more people and adding in more chefs from various backgrounds, bringing in many varieties?
Yes, yes. I mean, I can tell you. So we started developing in February, March, and since then we were developing. We hired software engineers across India, started developing it, and in the meantime, I was reaching everybody who were the people in my neighborhood who were selling food on Facebook. And the first question I asked them, "Have you registered your kitchen with the local council?" And the answer was no. And I said, "Do you understand the risk of doing it? Because if somebody anything happens tomorrow, that's going to be your liability, and then it's going to be a bigger issue because you'll be bigger trouble to do that. So why don't you come to us? Because anybody who comes with us, we make sure, or in fact, we support them in terms of starting their own food business. We do all the trainings. We provide food and hygiene, safety certificates. We give a training on the allergy awarenesses. We do food policy and all that sort of a thing. We have internal team who does the audit of your kitchen to make sure what your standards of cookings are, and then we help with the menu engineering and everything. So it was pretty easy sell for me to people who were already doing it in the area. And I think when we started with 8 chefs in Maidenhead, Slough. I'm very proud that currently we have around 50 chefs in Reading, Maidenhead, and Slough area who are, I think, cooking, selling food. Uh, Again, I'll share one story later, but I think, it motivates me or my team every day that we are making a difference. We are making a difference for certain families, certain individuals, that we're helping them to gain their confidence back. We're helping them to take that first step of starting their entrepreneurial journey. And I'm really immensely proud of those things that I'm making a difference in a lot of families.
Yes, indeed, indeed. Very nicely said that you are indeed adding value and giving them training, and plus the food hygiene certificate, training them. It's very good because like I live in Harrow, and I've heard all this people start this cooking business, but they don't have any idea where to start. They don't have the necessary, we do have to follow regulations, and they need to be in place. So it's a very good job that you're doing, and that's a huge number. You have so many 50 plus chefs now, so
Yeah.
that's a huge number, and congratulations for that. Wonderful. So my next question would be, what are your views on home food delivery market, and how it's evolving, and what is the why there is a marketplace for my grub.
Sure. I
ஏன்னா அது
mean,
கால் பண்ணி பேசணும்.
somebody's.
டைம் அதுக்கப்புறம் இன்னும் கிடைக்கலையே.
We have one chef in the making, I think. Apologies for that.
No worries, no worries. So, in terms of food market, if you see, I'll use one of the example which I use with most of the investor, or if I go for media interviews as well. We've been on BBC, we've been on a lot of couple of other places as well. Is imagine an example of Airbnb. Who have you ever thought about, using somebody's house or somebody's bedroom to stay in for your holiday? But 2009-10, the business came, and it kind of changed. Is it pretty much similar? This thing of people cooking for each other and serving in their community is pretty prominent in the baking industry. People are doing muffins or cakes and thing, and slowly and steadily people are trying to do the foods as well. And there's Indian food is a prime example for that. So as such, there is no structured market, and this is where I found an opportunity. There are people who are doing in a completely unorganized manner. There is no standard framework for them to follow. And then FSA is constantly complaining, oh, these people are at risk, they are not registering thing. And we saw an opportunity that why don't I create that channel, which is standardizing, legalizing everything. And I'm creating a marketplace to market this kitchen. So anybody who wants to have an Indian, or not just India, for a home cooked meal, they can come to our marketplace and just find that food. So the market is as such not there, but food is something we all need. We all eat 3 times a day, and we all crave for good food. Some of us also still queue outside Dishum to have the food. So there is definitely a gap, certainly outside of the cities like London, Manchester, or Birmingham. Not every home counties and the cities around the commuter towns, I call it, have good restaurants. Every city will have one chippy, one Indian curry, and maybe one Italian or pizza shop. But there's no other variety. So this is where we thought, why don't we empower the community itself to create that supply and consume that supply within the community? So we help each other, and we help each other in a way. I mean, my our vision says that we want to build the healthier, happier, and wealthier community, because healthier, happier, because you're having a home cooked healthier meal. Is prepared by somebody who is making meals 99% of the time. That food that he or she is preparing is going to give it to their family. Hence, there will no compromise on the quality and the taste of the food. So I know we thought, I think that's creating that kind of a market, and organizing that market is going to give a tremendous opportunity. In terms of market size, the UK itself, if you see, the takeaway market is around 10 billion pounds. And I'm hoping, eventually next 2 to 3 years, I'll be able to kind of educate that market or structure that market up to 1 to 2 billion, so that I get a minimum share out of that, technically. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. I didn't know that the takeaway market is in billions, trust me. And
Yeah.
I really love this idea that, wherever there was a gap, you filled it in. Because, yeah, I agree, of course, in London and not in main cities, but there are few restaurants. And that's where you come in. So, and top it up, you have a homemade cooked food. So that's again a more advantage thing. I mean, if I was feeling that safe, I would really go and order it straight away, because that gives me the assurance that
Yeah.
you have the chefs have been trained. It's home cooked food and easy to order. So of course I'll come back on the question of how do we order, etc. But before that, just connecting with this, because since you have already mentioned that there is maybe one chippy shop, one Indian shop, one Indian restaurant. So who do you think are your competitors in this?
So I would say, if I do the mainstream competition, is always going to be Deliveroo, Just Eat, because we are competing against the same share of wallet. Because you're going to spend 20 pounds for your curry night, you're going to spend either with us or with Deliveroo or Just Eat. So there is indirect competition, definitely. There is, I would say, I would say copycats. And I would like to say that, because there are many people who try to come after us, just try to do similar. And Darshana, in your city itself, there is one competitor who's trying to make a mark there. I know her very well. So, there is no direct competition. And I'll say that because the way our product is designed is not to position Cook My Grub as a food brand, but it is as a marketplace, because we're not selling food. The companies, and I'll name it, is Noshi Circle in Harrow, is the company who is kind of trying to position itself as a Noshi, as a place, and you order your food, and then that food get collected from different home kitchens. We don't want to do that. We are in a business of empowering businesses to take it to next level. So hence, if you come on our platform, every chef has their own profile, every chef have their own stories, their own recipes, and their own restaurant, and that's the difference. There are two more businesses who tried to do it in the past. The timing was wrong, the strategy wasn't right, and I guess the founders was trying to do it as a side hustle. And I strongly believe, if you don't uh, be involved full time in any businesses, you will never succeed. So, and that's kind of thing. And some of those businesses we are in conversation with. Potentially in next 2 to 3 weeks, you will make some announcement to acquisition or something with those guys. But yeah, I guess it's there is in the direct competitions like Deliveroo and Just Eat, but there is direct copycats who's trying to come to the market.
I like it that you said it frankly that there are direct copycats.
Yes.
We even we are inspiring Indian women, and we started these things of having these sessions. And in these sessions, we also started Kavi Sammelan, and then there is some other organization who is copying us and who are trying to do this, what we are doing. But, this copycats are always there, and, I welcome competition with open heart, but it
Yeah.
does feel that little bit pinch is there. Even I run my own online chat show. So during COVID times, I started, and there were others also who named it as chat show. So yes, the people do copy ideas and people do steal, but I love it that you have said it frankly. So I love that openness. Very good. But guess I feel more inspired and I feel more challenge to do better, isn't it?
Yes.
Would you not
Right.
agree?
No, no, I agree. And, I'm kind of those person. I don't really care what the world does. I am very clear on my vision. There's always going to be competition because there's always, there's one in a decade, there's an Apple or there's some other companies who comes in with absolutely unique ideas. Otherwise, 99% of the businesses are trying to improve on what already exists. Any business, you name it. So saying, or any entrepreneur saying that, oh, I don't have a competition, that's being a little foolish. So I believe there is a competition. There's going to be future competition. Is better because that will continuously challenge my team to say, why are we not doing good? Why? And I mean, sometimes my arrogance comes along, but I know my product is great. I know my service is great, and that we are so focused that I don't really care what the competition is coming. And in
Yes,
fact, some of the
exactly.
competitions has reached out to me and said, "You guys are doing fantastic job. Can you please buy out?" So so that means we're definitely doing something great.
You're doing something right if people want to
Yeah.
buy you out. So amazing. So tell me, how do you select your chef, and
Yeah.
how do you train them? Would like to know more about
Yeah,
this.
yeah, sure, definitely. So anybody, as I said, if you can cook or anybody on this call can cook and they want to serve that food and take that passion and turn that into a business, just simply go on our website and register a very small form on a link called Be a Chef. We just give us your telephone number, your name, and your address. Somebody from my team will call you and explain the process that what it entails to be on Cook Migra, because we don't want to bring anybody and everybody. We want to get a very selected cuisine. Of course, we want to support everybody. However, we need to make sure that they are not running a restaurant and take away and they want to sell on our platform. Because some of the local restaurant come to, oh, you have a customer base, can you sell? So we don't want to do that. So we definitely make sure that it's a home chef. Or if they are a very small cafe, which is run by a family who's selling a very authentic food, then only we kind of bring them on board. As soon as they come on the platform and they sign with our terms and conditions, so we charge the joining fees as well as the commission on a regular basis. Uh, you sign the contract. The first thing you've been given is a training. So you do food and hygiene level 2 minimum. Then you do allergy awareness training. Once these two trainings are completed, we send you something called a food policy. That food policy is basically your booklet or policy to maintain how frequently you clean your kitchens, what chemicals do you use, how do you check your food, what the temperature of food and everything. That's very important because if the EHO comes from a local council, which they will come to register your kitchen. So before this, before our food policy, we make sure the time we sign the contract, we registered the kitchen with the local council. So we take an application, we register the kitchen on behalf of them with the local council. So we do the application, then we
Sorry,
prepare.
can I just interrupt? And I'm not very clear. So
Yeah.
you register the kitchen, but supposing, like example, if I want to be a chef, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
give my example. So then I have my own home kitchen. I don't have any office or anything. So in that case, is it the same way you do it, or
Yes,
if
same
it
thing.
is
It's
a
the same thing.
small cafe, then it's different, or home, it's the same or different?
So in terms of small cafe, they are 99% of the time they are already registered because they are cafe, But more in terms of yourself, if it is a home kitchen, that's fine. That's what we're exactly doing. 80% of my chefs are home kitchens. Yeah, so you still need to register your kitchen or your home address as a place where you're going to cook and serve the food to people. So this is where we registered your home kitchen with the local council saying Darshana is interested to become a start her home food business. This is her address, this is her detail, this is the food she's going to prepare, and we would like to notify you that from these premises the home cooked food will be prepared.
And would you say this is how you guarantee food hygiene?
No, no, I'll tell you the next step as well.
Yeah.
So once
Just
that's done, we do.
double checking. Is it the same thing?
No, it is. So once that's done, once we done the food policy with you, which is the documentation, everything, we do our internal home audit. So my food inspectors will go to home kitchens and then they will act and even stricter than what the EHO will do. There's two purposes. One is we want to get a confidence that what you learn from a food hygiene and allergy perspective, you understand that, you follow that practices. Second, it helps us to address the gaps before the EHO comes in. So we will help you to make sure that you get the highest hygiene rating from the EHO because our business model is pretty simple because if you win, we win because we only get money when somebody sells something to our platform. Based on our so far, 90% of my, or 99% of my chefs, I would say, have 5-star hygiene rating. And I guarantee you, if you go in your local, do Google it and see all your curry houses and kebab houses in your area, if they have a 3-star hygiene rating, then you're lucky. So yeah, that's the process we follow.
That
One,
scares me.
yeah,
That
I
scares
mean,
me.
dude, I mean, there are a lot of campaigns with the BBC and Sky and everything. A lot of shops where you normally order food from has less than 3-star hygiene rating. And we can, you can Google it. There's nothing hidden here. Just Eat been pressurized to start highlighting the hygiene rating. We didn't even aware about that, but now we're trying to make that aware. Once that's done, once we done the audit, we do something called food testing session. So we ask you to prepare 4 portions of your any signature dishes you want to cook. We take that food, we give it to 4 random customers of ours, friendly customers, who gives us the feedback. So one, it helps you to understand how our business model works, when the driver comes, how the mobile app works and everything, and it also gives you as a feedback from our customer and our us an ability to see, is there any feedback on the quality of the food, the quantity of the food, the packaging of the food, and all of that. So it's kind of works for a mock run for our chefs to before go on the platform. And as soon as you're ready, all of that tests are done. We do a lot of marketing campaign to promote. We write blogs. We write the story of you as a chef, what cuisine you're bringing, where you from, where do you learn your cuisine, why you cooking, what's your passion, and all of that. And we do a heavy marketing before we launch any kitchens in the any demography.
Right. So if any chef who is like in a full-time job, but they can only cook on weekends because they love cooking and they, you know how the Indians are, I whenever I go to work, I love to share my food. So if there is
Yes.
somebody who can just cook on weekends, would you take them on as well?
Yes. So I think there are pretty much 3 business part into the business model. What I've explained to you is called Cook My Grub Academy. In that Cook My Grub Academy, we are training people, educating people. We are helping them with their menu planning, their pricing. We are turning an amateur into a food entrepreneurs. Let's put it this way. So that's called Cook My Grub Academy. The second part of the business is the e-commerce, which is our mobile application. And there are 3 apps: one driver app, the chef app, and the customer app. The chef app is defined in a such a way that it gives you as a chef a flexibility of deciding when, what, and how much you want to cook. So you are in control of your kitchen, that I want to do weekends, I want to do dinners, and I want to only make 20 portions of biryani that day. Um, Sorry. So I guess you're sharing the screen, looks like. So yeah,
I'm I'm not sharing. I think
I
who
think
is
Rashmi is
sharing the
sharing the
screen?
screen. Yeah, that's fine. No worries. So yeah, that's the way the platform is designed, and it's even further. We don't have like a on demand. We don't want you to be, because we know from home kitchen you're not going to operate as a restaurant. You go
Correct.
your home kitchen. You have capacity. You have limitation. So the way our system works is you have 4 meal slots: 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 6 o'clock, and you get order 2 hours before the cutoff time at 8, 12, 4, or 6 o'clock. So you exactly know how many portions of the dishes you need to make. Then our drivers will come at 6 o'clock, collect the food, and get it delivered to the customer. So it's
Brilliant, brilliant.
that's the way it's been designed. Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliantly. I think you've taken care of minutest details. So
Yeah.
I hope I hope audience, those of you who are watching on Zoom, you're welcome to ask questions. Put it in the comment. I'm going to open questions round as well. Those of you who are watching on Facebook, then please do keep on sharing sharing this video on Facebook. Also, if you have any questions, put it in the Facebook comments, and we'll definitely pick it up and come back to you. Ask Mr. Dinesh while he's here. So take the opportunity, and if you yourself are a good cook and want to be on board, then this is the opportunity. Connect and. Stay tuned. And I would like to ask the next question. I am sure you have covered food hygiene, but anything else you want to highlight in food hygiene before I go to the
I think
next
it's
question?
we are running a campaigns about something called Cook My Grub Hygiene Promise. So I think a lot of people have this association of, oh, if somebody's cooking from home, how clean this food is, and we are committed to make food, and I'm going to use this word more, the home code much more appealing. A lot of people has this thing, okay, I don't know how clean they are, how they're cooking, but our hygiene promise and our processes are making sure that all the chefs who are coming to us know the food hygiene. And we also do, I would call it surprise visits to make sure that the practices are followed as well. So hygiene is as a top priority for us as a business. And we will be continuously, trying to stress those and make sure that we deliver a safe and a tastier food to everybody and the authentic food to everybody as our customers.
Right, brilliant. So, hygiene is completely taken care of. Those of you who want to order, you can start ordering now. And those of you who are interested in being chefs and being on board with Dinesh and Cook My Grub, then here's the opportunity to ask him questions and join the team. And you can start ordering food now. What a lovely day we have. And don't wait to order. Cook My Grub, the website, the app, everything is available.
I think we
And while
just to add,
Dinesh is here, yes, Dinesh.
sorry, Darshana, just to add, we are not in all of the geographies. We are in a very limited geography. So if you are in a geographies where you are not in, you'll still have to wait for the food. But you're more than welcome to order. I'm happy to deliver if it is close to London. But very soon we are expanding to London as well. We'll be coming in next 3 to 6 months. Currently, we only operate into SL6, so Windsor, Slough, Maidenhead, and the Reading postcode. Very soon we are coming to Harrow. So I think you'll be able to have our food.
That's brilliant. So we have audience from all over, so not to worry. If
Yes.
I'm telling you can order, then good, go for it because we
Yeah.
have varied audience and a huge following on Facebook as well. So my next question would be with you is what is the recent growth, and if you don't mind sharing your future plans, that would be brilliant.
Sure, definitely. So, in terms of growth, I think it's very proud that we growing every week pretty much 10-20%, which is not the growth. I'm a little ambitious. I want to see 100% growth every week, but as a startup business, I think 20% growth is something which is good. As I said, we initially when we started, we were just 3 people sitting in the Maidenhead office. Now we have around 9 people. We recently hired marketing, operations, sales people in the team. In India, we had 6 developers, the testers and mobile app developers and thing. We have around 14 people in the technology team. So we are growing as a team, as a business. In next 3 to 6 months, you will see us opening a lot of geographies outside the London in home counties, Harrow, Hounslow, Watford. I mean, most of the M40 and M25 areas. We are also having a talk with most of our investors is from America as well as India and South Asia. People who want us to take this product outside UK. So we are planning few trials in few cities in India as well as in the US. I mean, nothing concrete at the moment, but something we are piloting at this stage to take it to the next level. So yeah, that's kind of a growth. We want to grow quickly, but I think believe the slow growth is good because it is sustainable. We are fixing the problem as it appears, but I think the business is growing, and we hope that it continues to grow.
Yes, beautiful. So you already shared what are your future plans, how you plan to grow, and especially in London, Harrow, can't wait for that because I am from this area. But if you don't mind, how will the funding be used?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
if you can shed a
So,
bit more light on it.
definitely, as I said, last year we raised £100,000 to start the business. Just closed the round where we raised $1 million, so around 750, 780,000 pounds. That funding is primarily going to be used for recruiting people because when you scale, you need people to manage the processes and the system. And majority of that chunk is going to go into marketing because if we don't have the enough awareness about our brand in the market, we're not going to have customers and we're not going to have chefs. So that's most of the funding will be used for getting to marketing, getting to market to open the new markets, and some of that funding we are enhancing the Cook My Garb Academy. We are building few new courses for the home chefs so that they are, as I said, we want to turn the amateurs into food entrepreneurs. So rather than cooking, there are multiple aspects of managing businesses. So, how we are there to market it, but how can you market yourself? So we do marketing trainings, finance trainings. So we are building all of that money to build the Scoop Migrab Academy further. And hoping with this funding we have raised, we kind of achieve 5x, 10x growth, which unlocks me to go to the market again to raise effectively a lot of money to take this market nationwide, this product to nationwide across UK.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. So, just a few questions in the chat. I would like to pick up those questions. But
Yeah.
before that, if somebody wants to be a chef with Cook My Grub, you train them. So these trainings are charged. Am I correct? And when they do when they make the sale, then they get a certain percentage of it. Am I correct? Or
Yes, it
is
is. It is.
it
So we charge based on what package you select to do the training with us. We charge anything between £149 to £299. In 149, whatever the process I explained from a training, compliances, audit, for menu engineering, and everything is covered. Yeah, over the top, if you want to go ahead and if you want to package, get the photo shoots done for yourself, if you want to do a paid marketing with through our platforms and everything, so you pay up to £299 because we kind of spend some of the money on a monthly basis to do the paid marketing on different channels. So yeah,
absolutely,
everything between
absolutely?
149 to 299. There's a joining fees. And
Yeah.
once you come on the platform, we charge only 15% commission
Yeah.
off to whatever you sell. So if you sold a £10 dish on our platform, you get 850 and we get 150. And with that 150, we give you the technology, we give you the marketing, we give you the customer service. And most important is the delivery capability because your customer want to get the food delivered as a convenience.
Yes, actually, that was one of the questions in the chat. My question, out of interest, how did this name come? Cook My Grub. So, how did this name come? Was it
Uh,
your idea or your partner's idea?
Yeah, I think it's a combination, and I would say it was Shabir's idea because I wouldn't have named Cook My Grub to be honest, because I don't like the three word names. But it is grub is basically the slang used for the food, and we wanted to always have like just eat or something like that. So it's cook my food technically. So we that's how the name came in. We wanted to do something around Grub Hub or something, but those brands were already taken. I came around and I thought, okay, I want to use the Sanskrit name. But then the challenge came, will the mainstream people will even understand Sanskrit words? Then I've tried thinking into some German word, something. But Cook My Grub was, very easy to remember. It's like a slang word. People will never forget. And it will be good for us for a brand awareness perspective.
Yes, and when you say it, it's not like somebody can forget it easily. Cook My Grub, people would remember, and that's what we want for helping in branding. So
Yeah.
I really like the name, and well done on selecting this name. You can tell it to your partner as well. So a few questions in the chat.
Yeah.
Is this only in London or other places? I think Dinesh has already answered that. It's in Slough, Maidenhead, and it's going to come to London and other places very soon. If anything, then Dinesh, would you like to add any other places that are coming very
Sure.
soon?
We recently launched in Reading as well, so there are a lot of population in Reading. We have started soon, but what I would suggest, please do promote us in whichever geography you are, because for us to open any geography, we need chefs. So, so we want to reach out to as many as chefs possible because once the chefs comes in, then only can we open the market. Otherwise, if there is no supply, we can't really open the market. So the purpose to come on this call is to appeal to all of you to, talk about us, spread the word for us, and make sure that if anybody who wants to start the business, ask them to contact me directly or go on our website, register the interest, and we'll contact you within 24 hours to get you sorted.
Yeah. So that's my next question. How to contact? Do you mind putting your contact number on this
Yeah,
chat? And
sure.
the
I'll definitely put it.
website is what is the website? Cookmygrub.com is, am I
Today,
right?
today,
So
it's cooked my God.
guys, those of you who are watching on Facebook, Cook My Grub is the website, cookmygrub.com. So go on the website, you will have more information. There's a simple form to fill, and there's a lot of other information available on website. For our Zoom people, because of security reasons, we'll put the phone number here. And other than that, there are questions there's a compliment here from Rajshri Vyas. She's saying it's a very innovative idea and she would love to explore more from the web page. Yes, Rajshri, you're welcome to go on the website, which is www.cookmygrub.com. So please have a look at the website. And is there a delivery charge? So what is the charge of the delivery? That's the question somebody
So
is
as a
asking.
chef, you don't pay a delivery charge. It's the customer who pays the delivery charge, and the delivery charge varies from £1 to 4.99 based on your distance. And we deliver the food from your home up to 10 miles. So if
So
anybody,
who
we have our own drivers who delivers the food.
so you have your own drivers. Okay, that's good. And coming back to this again, supposing there's somebody who just wants to cook one dish on a Sunday, like example, a simple dish, not too many, like the whole meal, not the 3 or 4 course meal. If they just want to supply just one meal, like a biryani, would you consider such people?
As I said, you're in control of your own kitchen. You decide
Right.
when, what, and how much you want to cook. However, if you want to attract customers, let's imagine a family. I mean, we are four of us in the family. My son will he'll never eat fish, or my wife will never eat, chicken. I'll purely eat chicken, and she will eat veg. If I come to order from your kitchen, and if I just see a biryani, what's the likelihood of me ordering food from your kitchen? So, what we recommend people think about it that you are appealing to your family. So at least have a veg, non-veg option and the complementary which goes beyond with that. So if you're preparing a biryani, fair enough, but also have an option for veg pulao so that a family who's ordering from you and who has a vegetarian and non-vegetarian within the family, you will be able to offer to both of those. But most often, sometimes what happens is a family orders from 2 3 different kitchens, so that's not a problem. But if you want to get that customer and you want to increase the chances of your food to be sold, we guide people to have a good menu so that you kind of serve to the entire family.
Brilliant. So again, because there are a lot of people, including me, I'm very particular about vegetarian food, and I sometimes hesitate myself unless I really have to, like my work colleagues, or it's a party, and I really have to go to a restaurant which serves non-veg and vegetarian food both. I would rather not go, but sometimes you have to, be
Yes.
with the group, and then I go. So how do you ensure that people who are vegetarian get pure vegetarian food without,
Yep.
sometimes I think in my mind that what if they use the same spoon, or same
I-
napkins, or so how do
yes.
you ensure this? If you can
So
tell us a bit more. We are running out of time, but have to pick
sure,
up this question.
sure, definitely. So this is where the training is about avoiding cross contamination, cross utilization, and cross food. This is what we train around. And I mean, that's one way to avoid that. But also, as I said to you, we have pure wage kitchens on the platform, Jain kitchens as well on the platform. Other people purely vegetarian. We have vegan kitchens as well. So it's. I would say we are we are something for everyone. So we have a supply for everybody. Some people are. I've recently come to know there is something called pescatarian, which is just a fish and a vegetarian. So I didn't know.
Yes.
So that's also on our platform. So people who are making meals just purely with the fish and the vegetables. So we it's there, and we making sure when these people are making the different food, they are trained on how to avoid the cross contamination and cross thing when they're preparing the veg and non-veg food.
Yes. So somebody, Varinder, is saying that we have something similar where I live, and it's called home cuisine. I am not sure, Varinder, where you live, but if you have that, it's good. But now it's time to order through Cook My Grub. So we have brought you a new concept. And next question is from Alka Bhayani. She's asking, what sort of training do you provide? I believe all chefs would have already done some training as it is. So very good question. Alka, just I think Alka, you joined a little bit late, so this is even for somebody who is not a chef. I'm sure Dinesh ji can tell us more about it. So what sort of training do you provide? And all
Yeah.
chefs are already trained. So what would you say to that?
So we provide food and hygiene level 2 to sorry,
Hello, that's your son. Hello,
sorry,
hello.
he's just taking a tea. Hello.
He can come and say hello to us. Hello, hello. That's a lovely T-shirt. Wow.
Say Aradhya. Okay, go. Okay, that's fine. Sorry, apologies for that.
No worries, no apologies. It's fine.
So we provide food and hygiene level 2, which is the bare minimum. Sorry, he's closing the door. It's the noise. 1 second. Yeah, food and hygiene level 2, allergy awarenesses, food policy, and we are also soon coming with a few more trainings about how the packaging and other stuff as well. So as I said at the beginning, there are a few trainings I can't mention here. We are in a public domain now, but there are a few trainings we have designed in house about menu engineering, menu design, and all of that, which are like an IP to us. One thing I forgot to say that we have people on board who are coaches to the head chefs and the sous chefs for a five-star restaurant. So these are the people who are creating trainings and training the chefs and everything on our platform. So all the training to make sure you're doing your food business in a compliant way, in a safer way, so that our customers and your customers are comfortable ordering food from you because you're delivering an authentic, tasty, and a safer food to the customer.
And who would not like home cooked food? I would love it. So another question, I mean, Varinder has just confirmed that home cuisine is in Yorkshire and it's very far from London. Yes, and that's why we have Dinesh ji here. So guys,
Just to
Cook
add
My
on that,
Grub is the website. Dinesh ji, I would like to ask you, your app is ready. People can order from app. People who are living in Slough, Maidenhead area.
yes, we are there, and there's something I'm exploring. I mean, again, don't want to talk about it, but yeah, I think even if you are not in the geography, you will be able to order their food up to 50 miles in soon in next 3 to 4 months. And then Rendaji, you said, I know the company very well. What you're talking about, I know the guy who has designed the app and what struggle they're going through. So, but yes, I know the company because, as I said, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I am keeping close eye on what's going in the market. So, yeah, I guess we have an app currently, and in next 2 to 3 weeks, we will have the website as well. So my team is working really, really hard to get the website because sometimes we have what happens is we have a very elderly couple who can't really use the app or they don't even have phone which can use an app. So they call on our customer line. I remember we did a charity event during Christmas. We provided a Christmas meal to around 50 or 60 families in Maidenhead, to people who are 90 plus or 80 plus during that time. Those people like so much of those food. They call us on the phone and say, can you please do something for us to do a food? So we realize that there are people who can't really use the app. And soon we are launching our website to make sure at least they go on the small computer and start ordering their food as well.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. So Varinder is saying that she can, spread the word. And yes,
Thank you.
thank you, Varinder, for doing that. That's what we request and that's what we want. Anybody who comes on Inspiring Indian platform, we give them this platform to market their products, market their services. And what a lovely afternoon we have had. Thank you, Dinesh, for coming. And it was wonderful, wonderful chatting to you. I must say that this was a very, very different subject and I enjoyed it thoroughly. And I'm surely going to be in touch with you.
Sure.
And thanks for taking time. Inspiring Indian Women is very grateful for being with us today. And
Sure.
thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us this afternoon. And keep sharing this video, keep smiling. Cookmygrub.com and Cook My Grub on the app. You can be a home chef. You can apply for that. You can order food and any more questions, please go on the website. There's more questions available, answers available on the website. If you have any questions, even after this video is finished, you can still put it in the comments and we'll pick up the comments. Thank you, Darshana and Rashmi, and of course, Dinesh ji. That's it for today from Inspiring Indian Women. We come back again tomorrow, and Rashmi Are we having tomorrow, or are we meeting Monday back again?
Yes, I wanted to say, add few things there. So, Dinesh ji, we are launching IIWE outlet, and we want people like you to associate with us to help us train people, because that's the objective of IIWE outlet. It is part payment is done. It's a website being launched to for the women entrepreneurs only to upload their products and sell. So we wanted them to diversify their market. It's completely free for 6 months, and the next 6 months we're charging only £50 each, only for the maintenance of the website. And so our plan in it is also that we give training to all these caterers, women who cook at home, to how to start a business. So I was listening to you very intently, and I said, yes, you are the people who got to be associated with IIWE outlet to train more and more ladies to do and start a business. If they are good at cooking, they just need to make their passion skills into a business, flourish, earn income, share and into the family income. And because in London, in UK, it's a very difficult situation to get a job. It is not easy, and I myself have experienced that, and it's a very lots of ladders to cross to be there. So with cookmygrub.com and inspiring Indian women, together we can actually do something better and bigger. So we will be in touch with you, we will connect, and we are also sharing this live on IIWE outlet, as well as Inspiring Indian Women page, as well as Inspiring Indian Women group, and my personal timeline also. So wherever there is opportunity to rise and shine, Inspiring Indian Women wants to grab that opportunity. Thank you very much, Darshana. I know, Darshana, you came very few days notice, and thank you for giving your time. And thank you, Mr. Dinesh. And we will be in touch. And tomorrow, what we have Veena Jain. She has her own Ayurvedic products at home. She makes stuff at home, and she is in India, Delhi, and she will be in conversation with Madhu Chaurasia tomorrow at 4 p.m. UK time. So be there tomorrow to hear and I think give business to Veena Jain. So take care, everybody.
Lovely to see you all. Keep sharing this video, and cookmygrub is .com and the app. Please do get in touch. And as you know, Dinesh, Inspiring Indian Women is all about empowering women. So yes, e-outlet and we can IIW can connect. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's bye from me for now. Have a lovely evening. Sun is shining in London, and stay safe.
Take care.
It's bye for now. Bye, Dinesh. Bye, Rashmi.